オリエント急行殺人事件、続きプレイしていきます。はい、アンドレニ夫妻の部屋の前、再び来ております。アンドレニ夫人話してくれるかな？はい、アンドレニ伯爵の説得。伯爵夫人と話せないか尋ねる。伯爵に手助けを求める。これはやっぱり外交官の人だからさ、人を助けには慣れてるんじゃない？ね。単純に話せないか尋ねるよりも、助けを求めた方がなびいてくれると思う。はい。
Monsieur, if I am to catch this murderer, I will need your help.
My help? I am at your service, Poirot.
奥方を愛している。奥方を守っている。まあ、どっちもあるとは思うけど、こっちじゃないかな。
You are very protective of your wife, Count Andreni.
Does that surprise you? Her vertigo can be very dangerous.
I believe there are many kinds of vertigo.
If you don't mind, I'd rather talk to a doctor, not a detective. If you'd excuse me.
はい。失敗だったんですね。選択肢間違ったんですね。愛しているの方が良かったのか。はい。ここはまず手助けを求める。
Monsieur, if I am to catch this murderer, I will need your help.
My help? I am at your service, Poirot.
はい。奥方を愛している。
You are obviously a devoted husband, Count Andreni.
My wife means the world to me. There were questions in Budapest about a Hungarian diplomat marrying an American woman.
It did not deter you.
I would have given up my position for her. I would think it is universal. Are you married, Mr. Poirot?
No, I fear marriage is not for me. But her condition, is it very grave?
She is suffering about a vertigo. You understand? The room spins.
アンドレニ夫人はアメリカ人なんだ。彼の助けを提案する。コンスタンティン氏の助けを提案する。さっきの失敗したやりとりの中で、医者を呼んできてほしいみたいなこと言ってたから、これを提案しようか。
I think Dr. Constantine could help your wife.
There is a doctor on this train? I did not know. Where is this doctor?
知らなかったんだ。そうね。これは彼のところへ行くべきだを選んで、ちょっといなくなってもらおう。
I think Dr. Constantine is in the lounge car. If not, perhaps the conductor can tell you where he is.
Very well, I will find him. Thank you very much.
よし、行った。逆の方向に行った。起きてるじゃん。
Forgive me for intruding, madame. I am Hercule Poirot.
I know who you are, Mr. Poirot. I overheard you send my husband on a wild goose chase.
Your husband cares for you greatly, madame. I apologize for exploiting that fact. But the situation is urgent, and I need to ask you a few questions.
Apology accepted. I realize you must speak to everyone. This horrendous murder. It's very upsetting.
That is a beautiful music box.
Please don't touch the music box. It's a fragile family heirloom.
Your accent, is it American? Boston, perhaps?
You have a good ear, Mr. Poirot. Yes. Born and raised in what we call the Back Bay.
Are you in the diplomatic service like your husband?
No, not officially. I was still in college when I met Rudy 2 years ago. I keep myself busy handling his scheduling, travel, appointments.
What is the saying? Behind every great man there is a great woman.
That was the saying. Today one might reverse the sentiment as well, don't you think?
Of course, I stand corrected.
国籍アメリカ。職業が旦那さんの手伝いをしてるって言ってたよね。だからこの人は外交官ではなくて、職業なしでいいのかな？年齢、で、2年前は学生でしたって言ってたから、21歳なのか。まあ、39 難しいんだよな、この年齢当てが意外と。まあでも21でしょうかね。うん。はい。あ、よかった。
That's the right answer.
はい、刺繍入りのハンカチ。
A handkerchief embroidered with an H was found at the crime scene. By any chance, does your first name begin with an H?
No, my first name is Elena, with an E.
この人じゃなかったね。はい、アリバイ。
Can you tell me what you did last night?
Well, my husband and I went to dinner. Then we came back here. We went to bed around 10 o'clock. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't because of the shaking of the train. I suffer from vertigo. I finally took a sleeping pill and that did the trick.
When did the train's motion prevent you from sleeping?
Between midnight and 2 a.m. I know because I must have looked at my watch about 10 times.
I see.
対決。はい、夫とディナーを食べに行きました。部屋に戻り10時までにベッドに入りました。12時から2時まで列車の揺れで眠れませんでした。睡眠薬を飲み、2時過ぎに眠りにつきましたと。はい。あれ、この列車が止まったのって何時だったっけな？この時間は確かもう停車してるはずなんですよね。ここちょっと時間、ちょっと矛盾あるんじゃないですかっていうところで続いてみましょ
う。Calm now, Countess. You are not telling me the truth.
Why do you say that?
はい、これですね。列車の停止。
The train stopped at 12:30 a.m. due to snow. So there was no shaking of the train.But you told me that it was the shaking that prevented you from sleeping.
I don't know, you're confusing
12時
me.
半だった。
My vertigo.
Madame, a man died last night. You can't talk nonsense just because you're sick. You are hiding something from me.
How dare you? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to find my husband.
めっちゃ怒ってる。怒らしちゃった。あ、そうか、わざとね。なるほどね。なるほどね、さすが。はい、調べましょうか。アクセサリーね。いっぱい持ってきてんだね。睡眠薬。この人も飲んでたんだ。
These must be the sleeping pills that Countess Andreni took last night.
飲んでたことは飲んでたのかな、じゃあ、本当に。これね、家宝とかって言ってたけど、なぜこんな割れやすいものをここに持ってきてんだろう。すごい。この絵柄に合わせるのかな。あれ、この絵柄がないね。
It's closed.
閉じた。なんだろう。葉っぱと、バラの花と、鳥の絵。これは？
There seems to be something missing here.
ここに何かが欠けてるな。ここにはめるものがあるのかな？何か。
There seems to be something missing here.
別の部品が必要？どっかに部品があるのかな？欠けてる部品が。ザ・グレイト・ギャツビーだ。華麗なるギャツビー。 もう新たに調べるものがないので、おそらくパズルを解かなきゃいけない感じですね。なるほど。この各絵柄の下にある、なんかこの木のパネルみたいなやつが、それぞれの場所を示してるみたいですね。だから一番左がこのバラの花、右が鳥で、真ん中が葉っぱだ。で、これが鳥で、これでどうでしょうか。
It's closed.
こっちか。あ、開きましたね。で、ここにハンドルが入ってると。バイオのクランクを思い出すな。で、ここにはめるのね。どこかで止めるのかな？どこで止めるんだろう。あ、開いた。お、なんか出てきた？なるほどね。今すいません。適当にやっちゃったんですけど、この形状の穴が来たところで、ボタンを押せば開いたんですね、きっとね。開けた後に気づいちゃった。で、何が起きたんだ、今。何が起きたの、今。あれ、でもさっき開いた、この形状と若干違うね。じゃあ、そっか、やっぱり、あれに合わせなきゃいけないんだ。ここかな？ここですね。何も出てないな。微妙にずれてるのか。お、開いた。ネックレス。ロケットペンダントですね。かわいい子供たち。ヘレナとソニアに。
For my beautiful young ladies, Helena and Sonia. Helena with an H.
だからさっき、私はエレナですって言ってたけど、H がついたヘレナだったんだ。
It's Countess Andreni with an older girl.
後ろに何か書いてある。
An engraving written in, I believe, Russian Cyrillic. It looks like a first name.
Poirot! Have you no shame?
バレちゃった。
Monsieur, I am afraid shame is not a very helpful emotion for a detective trying to get at the truth.
What are you doing in our compartment?
I am investigating a murder, Count Andreni.
My wife is ill.
My apologies, monsieur, but your wife seemed in perfect health when she left the room to find you. I do apologize, but I needed to search your compartment.
You will regret this, Poirot.
Please, Count. You aren't going to challenge me to a duel, are you? Countess, I'm afraid I took the liberty of inspecting your little music box.
How dare you!
The message in the medallion was addressed to you and Sonia. Sonia Armstrong, your older sister, the mother of Daisy, the murdered child.
あ、そういうこと？
I am a Hungarian diplomat. You have no official standing here. You have no right to search.
No, Rudolph. Let me speak. It's useless to deny what this gentleman says. I am Helena Goldenberg, the sister of Sonia Armstrong, and Daisy was my niece. The music box is a gift from my sister's godmother, a very close friend to my mother. We hid the truth from you when we learned that the man killed last night was the person who destroyed my family. I panicked. I didn't want to be accused.
That is also why you lied about the H in your first name?
Exactly. Your ferreting about looking for the H is obviously part of your investigation.
If I found a handkerchief in Monsieur Ratchet's room embroidered with an H, I might suspect you had been there.
A handkerchief? I don't have any handkerchiefs embroidered with my initial. To be honest, that sounds awfully old-fashioned to me.
I give you my word of honor that last night, Helena never left her compartment. My wife is telling you the truth, Poirot.
I hope so. I'll let you rest. The matter of the H on the handkerchief still needs clearing up. But first I should check the inscription on the back of the medallion.
読めなかったんだよね。彫刻の文字。これね。待って、ポアロのロシア語の知識を使って、この彫刻を翻訳しよう。これロシア語なんだ。この文字の通りに当てはめていけばいいのかな？ H-A T A これがなんだろう。このロシア語にあるやつね。これかな？で、これで、最後が、これか。ナタリアだ。あ、ナタリア。ナタリアって出た。ドラゴミロフ夫人だ。まあ、ロシア語だからね、もしかしてと思ったけど。はい、確認。
ナタリア。Would it be Natalia Dragomirov? She is the only Russian passenger on the train. In addition, her first name begins with an H.
なるほどね。
My little gray cells did not let me down.
なるほど、そうか。H になるんだ。あの N が。どんどんちょっと繋がってきましたね。ドラゴミロフ公爵夫人はデイジーの名付け親。いやー、ラスボス感ありますね。ドラゴミロフ伯爵夫人。行ってみましょう。
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
I'm sorry, madame, but a man has been murdered. I must ask you a few questions.
You must have misunderstood me. I cannot speak to you just now.
Madame, I know that Sonia Armstrong is your goddaughter.
Come in, please.
Please forgive my intrusion, madame, but I really must ask you some questions.
Then ask. I'll answer if it pleases me.
We have not been properly introduced, yet I have observed her a couple of times, so I can already deduce some things about her.
来ましたね。ドラゴミロフ夫人。はい、ロシア人ですね、この方。で、職業は博物館の館長。年齢がね、85歳でしょうかね。確認。
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
アリバイ。
I will first ask you about last night. Will you tell me your movements?
I went to bed just after dinner. I read until 11, then tried to sleep. Later I woke.
What caused you to awaken?
I suffer from back pain, a consequence of old age interfering with an active life. I called Schmidt around 12:45 a.m. to give me a massage. She did so until I fell asleep.
How long was she with you?
A good hour, I would say.
I see.
はい、刺繍入りのハンカチ。
The first initial of your first name, Natalia, in the Cyrillic alphabet looks exactly like the letter H in the Latin alphabet.
I'm Russian, Monsieur Poirot, and I was the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg for decades, until I moved to Berlin recently. I'm familiar with Cyrillic.
This handkerchief is yours, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I lost it.
It was found in Monsieur Ratchet's room. Can you explain to me why Madame Schmidt didn't identify the handkerchief? She must have known it was yours.
Possibly to protect me. She is very loyal. Your next question will be, how did my handkerchief come to be lying by a murdered man's body? My reply to that is that I have no idea.
That is not an answer, madame.
It is all I am able to give you.
先手打たれちゃいましたね。アームストロング家の事件。
I must tell you, Princess Dragomirov, I have discovered something astonishing.
And that is?
You are Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
You make that sound like a revelation. I have never hidden the fact, monsieur.
You knew Colonel Armstrong well, then?
I knew him slightly, but his wife, Sonia Armstrong, was my goddaughter. I was on terms of friendship with her mother, the actress Linda Arden. Linda Arden was a genius, one of the greatest tragic actresses in the world. I was not only an admirer of her art, I was a personal friend.
Very well. But this links you to the Armstrong kidnapping case. Helena Andreni is the sister of Sonia Armstrong, the late mother of Daisy Armstrong, kidnapped and killed by the man who was murdered on this train, Ratchet.
Indeed. Was it he? Then justice has at last been served.
Allow me to summarize.
Do I have a choice?
First coincidence, I shall call it. You are close to the Armstrong family, and the presumed assassin of Daisy Armstrong was killed while you were on board the same train. Second coincidence. Your handkerchief happens to be found at the foot of the victim's bed. Third coincidence. One of the stab wounds inflicted on the body was by a left-handed person. You are left-handed. That is a lot of coincidences, Princess Dragomirov.
Well, Monsieur Poirot, call it fate. If you report to the police your coincidences, they will laugh. A woman of my age and frailty has violently murdered a man? With how many potential witnesses who saw me doddering along the corridor in the middle of the night like Lady Macbeth?
You are right, Princess. You could not work alone, which means you have one or more accomplices. And it is only a matter of time before I find out who they are.
I would appreciate it if you would remove yourself from my room and take your fantasies with you.
ここに来てぐっとこの真相に近づきましたね。新しいアリバイの再確認。はい、アリバイが合致する人物は、ミズ・アンドレニは、アンドレニ伯爵かな？ドラゴミの不公爵夫人は、シュミットさんにね、マッサージをしてもらってたって言ってたよね。で、ミスター・ホスカレリー。この人は、この人と同じ、ミスター・マスターマンと同じ部屋だったよね。うめき声で眠れなかったって言ってたよね。で、ミスター・ハードマンは、ミスター・ミシェルかな？当たってました。ブークへ報告か。捜査は十分に進展した。ブークに報告せねば。
Oh, Poirot, you're there. She hasn't moved, but she seems to be waking up little by little. What about you? Your investigation progresses?
I find myself helping everyone with their problems before they can help me with mine. I have shifted boxes, helped with hangovers, repaired an orange juicer, unlocked some Russian dolls, all so my investigation can proceed.
Don't forget the dessert recipe.
How can I?
Truly, the labors of Hercules.
My friend, I would rather clean out the Orient stables. Yet, I have managed to solve a few mysteries.
Oh, tell me everything.
はい、刺繍入りのハンカチ。
The embroidered handkerchief belongs to Princess Dragomirov. I also found out that she was Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
On the same train with the little girl's murderer?
Exactly. Also, Elena Andreni is the younger sister of Sonia Armstrong, Daisy's mother.
Another passenger connected to the Armstrong case?
Yes, Book. What are the odds, do you think? But I cannot see either woman stabbing Ratchet over and over again in a frenzy. And they apparently have alibis.
はい、壊れた腕時計。
I had 3 theories concerning the broken watch. It could have been tampered with. It could have been out of adjustment before the murder. Or, of course, it could indicate the actual time of the murder. The only hypothesis I could rule out was that the watch was out of adjustment. For the others, they are impossible to verify. So the watch is of little use to the investigation.
And I was convinced that it indicated the time of the crime. 2 women involved in the Armstrong case.
Let us not forget our patient here. There are 3 women.
Look, she seems to be waking up.
目覚ました。
What's happening to me? Did I fall asleep again?
Indeed, Mademoiselle Locke.
はい、睡眠薬。
Did you take any medication? Sleeping pills, for example?
No, I never use sleeping pills.
I inspected your cup. You can clearly see that there is a residue of something at the bottom. I'm sure a lab test would confirm you were drugged. Most likely an overdose. That would explain your battle to shake off the effects.
You think Fräulein Schmidt did it?
She certainly had the most opportunity, but why would she?
But no one knew who I was. It's impossible that someone deliberately targeted me.
なぜヒルデガルデさんが今現在ドラゴミロフのね、召使いをやってるかっていうところで、もともとアームストロング家を通じてつながりがあったと。ミズロックは薬を飲まされた？はい、ミズロックに薬を飲ませた可能性が最も高い容疑者を2人選ぼうと。まず1人はミズ・シュミットだよね。もう1人は、 もう一人はじゃあ公爵夫人かな。
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
違うか。もう一人誰だろう。ほとんどだってさ、接点ないもんね。あり得るとしたら、このミスター・ハードマンかな。ラチェットの護衛をしてたから、で、この人もね、一応は探偵だから、すぐにジョアンナ・ロックのことを怪しいっていう風に気づいて、で、眠らせたっていう可能性はあるよね。じゃあもう一人はこの人。
This is wrong.
あ、違ってた。
I'm never far from the truth.
むずくないこれ。じゃあミズ・ニールセンなのかな。全然関係ない人だけど。だからデザートで薬を盛るっていうこともできなくはないよね。違うと思うけど、ちょっと一応。
I do
いや、
not
違うよ
think
ね。
that's the right answer.
違うよね。ミスター・ミシェル
Fräulein Schmidt or Monsieur Michel may have drugged the tea that Mademoiselle Lotte drank. Fräulein Schmidt or Pierre Michel could have drugged your tea. They are really the only two people on this train who could have done it. But why would either one do it?
Mr. Poirot, I'm feeling much better. I'd like to bring you up to date to why I ended up on this train.
If you are able, I would very much like you to finish your story.
Very well then. After the Daisy Armstrong case was officially closed, I put out a standing request to the police departments in the Boston area for anything on Michael Clark. But he didn't turn up on their radar. I even set up an anonymous tip line for news about Clark. That's how I met Braid, a sketchy contact on the dark web, but they found nothing I could use.
はい、チャプター6完了しました。
4 long years passed without anything new. Every day I looked at the evidence board I put up in my apartment bedroom. Then this morning, a police report landed on my desk that changed everything. I paid a visit to the police property room and took home a box full of clues. There was his name. Michael Clark.
はい。マイケル・クラークの死。まさかジョアンナ・ロックのパートがまだあるとは。はい、非常に気になりますけど、あ、にゃんこいる。にゃんこがいる。デイジーもいる。はい、非常に気になりますが、今回はここまでにしたいと思います。では、ご視聴ありがとうございました。じゃあねー。